Below the expanses of the celestial plane, in a galaxy billions and trillions of light years away from the Milky Way, is a planet named Fohna. This planet is home to a race of sentient creatures called Fohnans, and it was discovered 15 years ago after a long intergalactic war between the creatures of this planet and the human race. With an appearance much like the Earth, it has 3 large continents, Diahia, Latalia, and Longigia, and 2 oceans, the Sordid and the Salient. Within the largest of the 3 continents, Diahia, there is a nation called Animihlia. The capital of this dominion, Animi, lies in the center of the Silver Plain, an expanse of flatland deep within the landmass. To the east is the Voidwood Forest, and to the west, Lazuli Lake. South of the plain lies the Reptic Valley, a vast arid gorge, and to the north, the Salient Shore. Animi is a modern city. Built much like those on Earth, it is a cluster of minimalistic high-rise buildings built of metal and stone. With no suburbs or outlying farmland, it stands in stark contrast to the wilderness of the rolling plains. 4 roads extend out from the island of civilization in the cardinal directions. Each continues on unhindered into the wilderness beyond. There is not another city within many miles. The Animihlian nation is well known for its abilities of conquest, and the isolated location of its capital is of no mistake. Being so far from other inhabited lands, and in the middle of the largest flatland on the planet, its inhabitants would be able to see an attack coming from many miles away. Within this city, near its center, a silver-furred creature is traveling with determined purpose down the sidewalk. He walks upright, as would a human, but his face is not that of a man. It is that of a wolf, marked by a long, slender muzzle and erect ears. His eyes are blue and shot with flecks of silver. Slightly slanted and almond-shaped, they give his wolfish face a profoundly exotic look. As for clothing, he is garbed in tight silver pants, and his chest is cloaked by a gauzy purple blouse that is torn at the hem. He wears no shoes, and his feet, which are more like paws, are covered in the same silver fur as his body. A long, fluffy tail protrudes just above the seat of his pants. It swishes regally over the surface of the sidewalk as he travels. Walking briskly behind him is another man. Golden-furred and profoundly muscular, he has broad, masculine shoulders, and his pectorals and abdominals appear in distinct relief through the fabric of his forest green t-shirt. His face, unlike the silver-furred man's, is distinctly feline, outlined in a plume of fur much like a lion's mane. His eyes are a brilliant shade of forest green, and are bigger than the wolf-man's. Overall, he has strong, young, masculine features that emanate a sense of pride and fortitude. At the current moment, though, that is not necessarily apparent. It is obvious that he is struggling with some emotion in his pursuit of the silver wolf. His eyes are wild, his stride filled with urgency. To the untrained eye, it would look as though he were moving forward with rage, intending to throttle the slender man. But upon closer inspection, it is apparent he wants to do nothing of the sort. "Sheath," he calls out. "Please stop. I need to talk to you." In response, the wolfish man increases his graceful stride, putting distance between him and his pursuer. "I have no interest in talking to you right now, Felix," he replies, his voice cool and smooth and slightly feminine. "I'm trying to get to school." Felix, the golden-furred cat, makes an exasperated sound, picking up speed to keep up with the wolf. "Sheath, this is important. You need to hear what I have to say." "After yesterday, I want to hear nothing," the silver-furred man, Sheath, replies, breaking into a run. Even while moving at a faster pace, he is still nimble and sure. His movements like that of a rushing stream. His face is smooth and mostly calm. A slight curling of his lip is the only visible sign of his frustration. Felix groans, racing after him. At this early an hour, the streets are mostly empty. The few people who walk them, similarly animalistic as the two, are giving them cross looks as they speed by. Sheath is running at a swift pace now, and Felix is falling further and further behind. Eventually, he encounters an intersection, and with a strong push off his left foot, he makes a spinning turn to the right, continuing on in that direction without any reduction in speed. Upon reaching the intersection, Felix finds it much harder to make the turn, slowing down and speeding up again after rounding the corner. "Sheath," he shouts, "please just stop for a second." Sheath continues on, his long fluffy tail trailing gracefully behind him as he runs, ignoring the golden cat. His face is starting to look more frustrated now. It is becoming obvious that he did not expect his pursuer to be this insistent. Every so often, he flings a poisonous glance backward, baring his fangs and growling. The pursuit continues similarly down several streets and alleys, deeper and deeper into the city. Eventually, the two round their final corner, approaching a cluster of 4 tall buildings. Animihlia. The high-rise buildings that make up the campus are arranged in a square pattern. Their facades are made of glass that is tinted silver to reflect the light of the sun. Each has an insignia of a paw print with flames behind it, and the letters A and H on either side engraved near the summit. Sheath and Felix are running along a broad walkway leading to an archway between the 2 buildings nearest to them. The path is paved in iridescent blue marble that glistens brilliantly in the light of the early morning sun. Sheath speeds up as they near the buildings.